Magic, the occult, and horror in comics. Magic and horror, two forces that have shaped not only human mythology but the very fabric of comic book storytelling. They are the unknowable, the forbidden, the sublime, and the terrifying. And when these elements collide in the pages of comics, they don't just tell stories, they create worlds where reality bends, sanity crumbles, and the thin veil between order and chaos is ripped apart. Let's embark on a journey deep into the heart of magic and the occult in comics. We'll uncover their mythological roots, explore their narrative mechanics, dissect their relationship with horror, and reveal how these forces have transformed the medium into something truly extraordinary. Hey guys, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this video, please support me by clicking the like button and subscribing to my channel. It really helps a lot in growing this small channel, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the video. The origins of magic and horror. Let's start with where it all begins, mythology. Magic has always been humanity's way of making sense of the unknown. From the shaman calling upon spirits to the alchemist seeking the philosopher's stone, magic has symbolized power, transformation, and danger. In comics, these archetypes are brought to life. Think of Doctor Strange, the master of the mystic arts, whose every spell draws from ancient traditions. Or John Constantine, who embodies the tragic mage, crafty, tormented, and always walking the fine line between hero and monster. Magic is more than flashy spells or glowing artifacts, it's deeply psychological. It externalizes internal conflicts. For example, Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, doesn't just wield chaos magic, her powers are a manifestation of grief and trauma. In House of M, she reshapes reality itself, creating a utopia that quickly becomes a nightmare. And that's where horror comes in. Magic embodies our fear of the unknown, our terror of forces beyond our control. It reminds us that every action has consequences, often devastating ones. Magic isn't just a metaphor. In horror comics, it becomes a literal narrative disruptor, the gateway to unpredictable, often terrifying forces. Think of Hellblazer, where Constantine uses sigils and rituals rooted in real-world occult practices. Or the Darkhold, Marvel's cursed book of spells, which corrupts anyone who dares to read it. These aren't just stories, they are warnings. The mechanics of magic in comics. Unlike traditional superhero powers, magic in comics operates on its own rules. It's unpredictable, often comes with consequences, and introduces moral dilemmas. Take Doctor Strange. His journeys through alternate dimensions, like the Dark Dimension, show us the horror of reality breaking down. Or Swamp Thing, where Alec Holland becomes an elemental creature tied to nature's magic. The horror. Losing his humanity in the process. Then there's Constantine. Every time he uses magic, he pays a price, whether it's the loss of a friend, the destruction of a soul, or the weight of guilt that follows him like a shadow. Magic here isn't heroic, it's corrosive. Horror and magic, thematic intersections. Magic and horror share a deep connection. Both thrive on the unknown, but their power lies in their ability to reflect our fears back at us. Take the theme of the Faustian bargain, selling your soul for power. It's a recurring trope in comics. In Hellblazer, Constantine constantly makes deals with demons, only to outwit them at great personal cost. Or Ghost Rider, whose pact with Mephisto chains him to a cursed existence as the spirit of vengeance. These stories force us to confront the question, what would we sacrifice for power? And then there's transformation, one of the most horrifying aspects of magic. When Alec Holland becomes Swamp Thing, it's not just his body that changes, he loses his identity. And in Scarlet Witch's case, her descent into madness alters the very fabric of reality. These aren't just stories of magic, they're tragedies. Magic and horror as artistic forces. Artists have pushed the boundaries of comics to depict magic and horror. Steve Ditko's Doctor Strange introduced surreal, mind-bending visuals, twisting dimensions, impossible geometry, and kaleidoscopic realms. On the horror side, Dave McKean's covers for The Sandman are unforgettable collages of dreamlike imagery that blur reality and fantasy. These visual innovations bring magic and horror to life in ways no other medium can. Magic, horror, and culture. Magic in comics isn't just about escapism, it's a mirror for our cultural fears. During the Cold War, magic was a metaphor for scientific hubris, the idea that tampering with the unknown could destroy us. In the 1970s, as interest in the occult surged, comics like Doctor Strange and Swamp Thing reflected society's exploration of alternative spirituality. Today, indie comics like Witches and Something is Killing the Children use magic and horror to explore trauma, community, and identity. They are pushing the boundaries of what these genres can do. The future of magic and horror in comics. The intersection of magic and horror has shaped comics in profound ways, offering stories that are beautiful, terrifying, and deeply human. As the medium evolves, these genres will continue to challenge our perceptions, reflecting our fears, desires, and hopes. So, the next time you pick up a comic about magic, remember, it's not just a story. It's a journey into the unknown. What's your favorite magic or horror story in comics? Let's talk about it. See you next time.